The first Cowboys injury report of Week 6 is out, and we are here to break it down. There's some good news, some bad news, some surprising news as well. There are 10 players in total on the injury report. Maybe the 5 more noteworthy, significant, more information to gather from however you want to phrase it involve Tyler Guyton, Markquese Bell, DaRon Bland, Kendricks, Caelen Carson as the 5th there. We'll talk all 10 guys, their statuses as we get ready for Week 6 against the Lions. But if you want the Cowboys to be healthy, let's send some good vibes out there. The prayer circle tweets have only gotten so far this year. So like the video if you want the Cowboys to be healthy for Week 6 against the Detroit Lions. Let's knock Micah Parsons out of the way first here. No surprise he is on the injury report. No surprise he is a did not participate designation. I don't expect Micah Parsons to play this week. I'd actually be pretty surprised if he was anything other than did not participate all week long. If that changes Thursday, Friday, opens the door up for him playing against the Lions, I think the proper timeline to look at here is not next week during the bye, but the week after against the 49ers. All right, here's one of your not great updates. Kendricks did not participate at practice on Wednesday with both a calf and a shoulder injury. Now, that's a little bit surprising because didn't hear about it after the game against the Steelers. He seemed fine out there. Kendricks is also an older football player. So we have to acknowledge this as, hey, if he's got bumps and bruises, they're going to be a lot more cautious with him. It is Wednesday. In general, I always advise caution when freaking out over Wednesday DNPs. If they're limited on Wednesday, it means they're going to end up playing. Now, it's not just a rest designation because they did put rest for Zack Martin. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But there's a calf and a shoulder for Kendricks right now. Maybe he woke up sore. That's probably a big factor in it. If he can at least be limited on Thursday and upgraded to full on Friday or even full on Thursday, I think that means he ends up playing. But this is certainly worth monitoring, given the fact he has been their most played linebacker because he has the green dot, calls all the plays, which you're going to need. You need his experience out there against a Lions offense that is certainly very creative and challenging to stop on defense. So what is your concern level right now over the Cowboys injury report? We'll make this the pinned comment on today's video. Scale it for me from 1 to 10. 1, everything's fine. All sunshine and roses. 10, you're melting down. Season's over already with the injuries. Vote at the pinned comment if the ad comes here on YouTube. Speaking of linebackers, Nick Vigil also on the Cowboys injury report with a foot injury. Now, this is noteworthy for a couple of different reasons. Again, hadn't been reported post-game at all. Also worth mentioning that when Kendricks went down against the Browns for a half, basically, and then ended up being just fine, Vigil was the one who took over at middle linebacker. Vigil had been called up from the practice squad to the active roster earlier this week. He is out of practice squad call-ups. We'll get to DaRon Bland, the spot you have to create to add in the roster. I don't think they'd be doing that with Nick Vigil. Otherwise, why bother calling him up for just the one game to help out on special teams? But if for some reason, I don't think it's going to happen. If for some reason Kendricks and Vigil couldn't go, I don't know who calls your plays. Is it Overshown? I don't want to try Damone Clark there. Is it you go with the rookie, Marist Liufau? Gets a little bit dicey if both those guys are out. I don't think that will end up being the case, but we will certainly monitor it. Also at linebacker, Marist Liufau was a full participant with his quad injury. That bodes very well for him. He popped up on the injury report on Thursday. Was technically questionable going into the game that was last Thursday, I should say. Questionable going into the game on Sunday, but he played in the game. He was full today, so I'm going to guess it was just like a quad bruise more than anything else. He should be good to go, barring a setback, which is true for all these guys, frankly, for Week 6 against the Lions. Now, today's Cowboys Report is made possible by PrizePicks. It is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions, that's billions with a B, of dollars in awarded winnings, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You can get in on the action in over 30 states, including California, Florida, Georgia, and, of course, Texas. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players to win a shop to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. They've got pro football, you've got college football as well. My Travis Hunter more than PrizePicks lineup has done pretty well each week. Will Howard, I'm going less than passing yards against Oregon in the game of the week in college football. And Jordan James, more than rushing and receiving yards in that matchup. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play 5. You don't even need to win to get the $50 bonus. It is guaranteed. So go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS to get that $50 instantly when you play 5. Link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. It's PrizePicks. Run your game all season long. Here's some really good news. DaRon Bland, who did have his practice window opened as expected today, was actually a full participant. Cowboys kind of made it sound like going into today, maybe he's going to be limited. No. He's full. There was no restriction whatsoever on DaRon Bland coming back from that foot fracture. That bodes really, really well for him playing. Now, he's coming off the injury. You want to see him get through Thursday. You want to see him get through Friday and Saturday. But the full participant on Wednesday, him not even being limited, but a full go, no holds bar, that bodes really, really well for DaRon Bland being healthy and giving the Cowboys a complete cornerback room for the first time all season. They started 3 different corners over the past 3 weeks. It was Caelen Carson, then Andrew Booth, and then it was Amani Oruwariye. Now, we'll deal with the roster move if it comes to it for Bland, but things pointing upward for him. Now, we are getting closer and closer to 200,000 subscribers here on the Cowboys Report, getting closer to 5,000 subs this season as well, as we continue to grow as the largest and most watched Dallas Cowboys YouTube channel out there. And that is only possible thanks to all of you, and I truly appreciate it. If you haven't already subscribed, now is the time to do so. Hit that sub button at youtube.com/CowboysTV. The closely eagle-eyed viewers out there noticed I did not have Caelen Carson listed as hurt on that depth chart because he was also a full participant at today's practice. So he had been limited last week, did not play, was a full participant this week, trending towards him being the 4th corner for the Dallas Cowboys, assuming Bland is back as well, which again, it's exactly the stuff you want to see right now for the Cowboys as Bland is healthy, Carson is healthy, and Trevon Diggs also mostly healthy. He obviously had that ankle injury last Thursday practice, played in the football game, looked pretty good out there to me, especially in coverage, as George Pickens had nothing going his way. And it digs me the comment that Lewis was talking trash, because Jordan Lewis is a psycho in a good way, was talking trash to Pickens, and Diggs like, that's my guy. Pickens did nothing all game, by the way. So cornerbacks looking good, looking healthy. Maybe you can pick off Jared Goff and help your offense out in a big way with a turnover now that you're getting healthier in that secondary. So will the Cowboys pick off Jared Goff? Y for yes, N for no. Let me know in the comments of today's video. One more surprise, and this one probably will be fine long term. Markquese Bell did not participate at practice due to an illness. Ideally, he's back by Thursday or Friday. There's not going to be anything like wildly drastic that changes in terms of the prep week from what's been done previously. There's different adjustments and stuff you make each week, but it's like he's got to learn entirely new defense. So even if he's out tomorrow, I'm not worried about Markquese Bell missing any time. Should be good to go. Just get healthy and don't let the illness spread through the locker room as it often does. It's kind of why kids get sick too. You're in close contact. It happens. Just hopefully he gets healthy quick. Also some good news here, or maybe for some of you bad news, but I digress. We talked about that earlier this week. Tyler Guyton was a full participant with a knee. It wasn't really a knee brace it was wearing, more like a knee pad. So I just don't have exact details on what that injury was when, I don't know if it was like a bone bruise or he sprained something ever so slightly or tweaked it, whatever, but hurt it and then played through it and then eventually left the game with that knee injury. Full participant on Wednesday means he's going to be good to go, which I think specifically for the offensive line, I would have been a little bit more concerned had he been a DNP or limited, because I do think you want to have the entire week of practice in your game planning, knowing what your offensive line is going to look like. So as long as Guyton has no setback, I think this would still be your starting 5 offensive line. I think you're helping Cooper Beebe play better, by the way, by putting him between your two best offensive linemen, Tyler Smith and Zack Martin. We spent a lot of time on the Tuesday morning show as part of Monday's live show talking about the offensive line in general, where they sit. I'm still rolling with that 5 myself. I think that brings you better, frankly, play right now. I still think Guyton is your 5th best starter up front. Steals either your 3rd or 4th. BB's either your 3rd or 4th, and your guards are your top 2. But if you could pick one guy to start, because I think the plan would be Tyler Smith at left tackle and then Bass at left guard if Guyton can't go or whatever. But if they're both healthy, who are you playing? G for Guyton, B for Bass. Finally, Zack Martin. Nothing to concern about here. Rest. If somebody will tweet out Zack Martin didn't participate and ignore the rest part because people have sometimes reading issues there. He's good to go. I also think, by the way, I think Martin's upped his play the past couple weeks. It was a bit of a slow start to the year. Still doesn't look like his absolute best version, but for that to look mortal earlier this year, he looks like Superman got some more sun and is regaining his powers a little bit there. He's been very good the past 2 weeks for the Dallas Cowboys.